Hey there, how's it going? My name is Marcus Zachary, or Hobo Quills. That is my YouTube handle. Um, I am a security guard living in Dallas, but I was affiliated with the Chet Goldstein channel, or Predator Poachers. Um, I know the guy Alex very well. I lived with the guy for about a month or two. I think it was a month and a half. Um, Me and Alex are still great friends. Um, and with the latest catch of EDP 445, who is a famous YouTuber who does football content and vlogs about just random things, but mainly football. Um, he he got caught trying to meet up with a 13-year-old girl by Alex, and everybody is currently like slamming EDP, but they're also slamming Alex for stuff that he did in the past. And I kind of want to I feel like everyone like kind of misunderstands Alex, and I feel like everyone somewhat misjudges him. So what I want to do is I kind of want to share my experience with my story and experience with him. Um, because I know a lot of people are calling him a terrible person, or or comparing him to calling him a Nazi, calling him a racist and all that. And I'm here to shed light on. I don't think that's true in my experience with him. But I understand where people are coming from. I understand that he does have his flaws and that he has made mistakes in the past while making these videos. So I'll be shedding light on that too. I'll be um, I'll be sharing you know my experience living here with him for a month or two. And I actually have pictures. I may put it in a thumbnail, or I may show them. I may show them in the video some way. I just bought some new software and some new editing software, and I really don't know how to use it as Filmora. It's not what I'm used to from Premiere Pro. But I just got this laptop, and I just got downloading Premiere Pro, but I'm going to use Filmora, to edit this video. But hold on for a second. But you know, I want to get into my story on how I met Alex, what relationship I have with Alex, which is a friendship, um, and my experience living with him, and shed more light on who he is as a person. So in 2019, or in about 2019, I watched a video of top 15. What chills number 15, that guy. And he did like a top 15 Chris Hansen Predator catches. So I had the thing on autoplay, and I had it running in the background, and it happened just to start going to like Pop Squad and creep catching channels. Um, basically, basically, people like basically dollar store Chris Hansen. All right, I happened to run across Alex's channel, and I noticed it stood out to me more than the other channels, because the other channels you just hear guys, on a soapbox basically yelling at a guy for 30 to 40 minutes. And with him, it was, at the time, he was making jokes, he was roasting the Predator, making jokes, and adding kind of his own little spin on it. So it caught my attention. You know, yeah, he made a bit of racial humor, but I've been a free speech advocate for a while. For about 5 years now, I've been a big advocate for free speech. So racist jokes and slurs never really offended me like that. But when I started watching his live streams, and I started making jokes of my own. I started making all sorts of racial humor of my own, because you know just to get his attention, just to see, every time I go on live streams, I do certain things just to see if they'd pay attention. And I noticed, like, at the time he only had he was having about 10K subs, well, not 10K subs, but like a little over 5K at the time. So I really started. I like binged his I binge watched all of this stuff, and then I came across some live streaming one of these days, and um you know he was responding to a lot of my messages, and it was funny. He was making jokes and everything. He was making all the racist jokes and everything, and I told him that I was black and everything, and that I wanted to be invited to his Discord. So yeah, he did send the invite to his Discord, and I don't know if it's still up, but yeah, I started talking to him on Discord and everything, and one stream he got into an argument with one of his associates and everything. And the argument got so heated, he started drunkenly ranting that he cut the stream, and he said, "We're gonna continue our conversation on Discord." So I literally just, out of curiosity, man, I was up. It was like 2 in the morning. I couldn't sleep, and I was up, and I said, I gotta hear this guy, because this guy was freaking going off. So it was and I know that the argument was about him. He was 27 talking to an 18-year-old, and and people were saying that that's borderline creepy, and that he was no different, that he was almost the same as the predator. So he was freaking out. So I go on Discord, and I wait in the chat. These guys come in, they continue the argument. This guy is ranting and raving and everything, and I'm sitting there silent. And then he just starts ranting and raving even more, and I start laughing. And he's like, I like how I like how the hobo was just sitting here, not even saying anything, just listening to the argument. And I'm like, yeah, because I just had to see where this goes. I had to hear more of this guy, because he was so pissed off. And basically, they wanted me to weigh in on the argument. I weighed in on the argument, and I guess I got Alex's respect, and I even got the guy's respect. He was talking to me, even more. He was talking to me even more, and all that. Um, you know, and I guess me and Alex just started, talking to each other on Discord a lot more. And then we started talking on, and we went on a stream. He invited me on the stream through Discord. We was doing a Discord call, and we was just having a good time. We basically just hit it off. So I talked to Alex. I was talking to Alex, pretty regularly. He was it's a pretty cool dude. I was like, at the time, I thought he was a cool guy. Like I said, I was talking to him regularly. We was making our jokes and everything. He even talked about, we should come down to Texas, man, do a catch, and all that. So I'm like, okay, maybe I will one day. Maybe I'll do that one day. He was talking about going to Canada at the time, and I know they had the Toronto branch, the Predator Poachers Toronto branch up in Toronto, obviously. But I felt that it would have been fun for me to do a catch with him one day and everything. But at the time, um, you know, I don't drive or anything, and it's due to a medical condition. Um, and I didn't have a car. Um, So I didn't know how I was going to be able to set up a trip and visit him and everything. And I wasn't, I wasn't sure of how that was going to work out. So in the meantime, Alex would let me stream on his older channel. Um, and when I streamed him, a couple people. I mean, I can't say I made myself into a minor celebrity or anything, but some people like me. Some people say, "Oh man, you're a cool guy, man." I mean, some people say, "Oh man, get off, we want Alex," or something like that. So I got like a mixed bag of response. But I had some of Alex's fans since day one. They know who I am, and they always, they would always enjoy the time I stream and everything. And there was even a fan, she's 26, and we kind of have a bit of a long distance relationship right now. So Alex kind of got me. Alex kind of got me sort of a girl. Um, so basically, what what um what wound up happening is um we're gonna deviate from my relationship with Alex and talk about how I was able to travel to here to how I even got here to Texas. I worked for a political organization called Young Americans for Liberty, which is a piece of shit organization, by the way. And actually has a sex scandal, had a sex scandal of their own early this year, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. Um, they I would go across around the country and everything, so I've been in canvas for politicians. So you made about 2-3 thousand a month, and it was all in good fun. So I've been in 2019 from November to from not to like August to November to I would say October, late October. I was campaigning, and then I was on break for like a couple months, and then I went to some political conferences in Yale, and I met up with Alex there. All right. Well, Yale is Young Americans for Liberty, by the way. I met up with Alex there, and we went around Austin, and we were in Austin, Texas. It was actually fun. I got to actually see him in person. I got to actually, see how he is, see, you know, how he acts, what his personal life is, and I just basically saw him. I mean, as I expected, he's just a normal college kid. Sometimes I forget I'm 24, Alex is 21, and I was like 23. I'm gonna be 25 next month. So I'm like, Alex was like 23. Well, I was like 23 at the time, and Alex was like 19, 20. So I'm like, he was like, so like he looks so older. I keep forgetting that he's younger than me. I kept forgetting that he's younger than me. So I'm thinking like, oh, this guy's kind of immature. Like, wait a minute, it's only 19. So yeah, so every time like I would go down to campaign, we would have to meet up in Austin, Texas. And I would have Alex meet me there. So after my 2 month break from campaigning, I actually I actually wound it up. Um, I wound it up. I'm going to campaign in Texas. So we actually met up in Austin again. And Alex, I let Alex know ahead of time so we can set up a catch. And fortunately, we actually had a catch set up. um, this is how I saw how Alex acted in public. Man, the guy just doesn't give a crap, man, and I loved it. It was like it was fun. I was just having a good time all around, man. So I did a catch in Austin. It was a small Mexican fella, and we had an idea. I had an idea because I know a lot of people, a lot of Alex's detractors called him racist, and you know, me being a free speech advocate, I like to troll people who get easily offended. So I said, okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put a whole bunch of watermelon and fried chicken into a cart, and while you're talking to the predator, I was gonna come out of nowhere and act like I was just a bystander who came in there, and yeah, I mean, when that vid released and everything, man, I had friends that was coming up to me and said, "Oh my God, is that you? Like, what are you doing with this guy? Like, what are you doing with this guy? Oh my God, oh my God." So that was fun too. Yeah, that was really really fun too. I was I hope he can upload the video again so you guys can see that. Um, but after campaigning, after a while, I was supposed to. I campaigned in Breckenridge, Texas, on Mineral Wells, Texas, and then I campaigned in Elgin, Illinois. I was supposed to go to Pennsylvania. Then COVID happened. COVID happened. Elections were put on hold, and they said we'll. My bosses told me, go someplace, chill there for about 2 weeks, and said we'll call you and everything. So I'm thinking like, oh, where the fuck am I going? I'm going to chill for 2 weeks. I'm like, my parents wouldn't. My parents didn't like me doing this, so they told me that if I went into a campaign again, I couldn't come back. So my parents to go back to live with my parents were out of the question. Um, and then well, out of options, I just thought of my last option was to call Alex, and I said, Alex, I don't have much options, man. But I gotta find. I need a place to stay for about 2 weeks because they gotta put the elections on hold, you know. And he basically said, yes, we will do it. He basically said, yeah, I mean, he was hesitant for a minute, but he just thought, you know what, that'll be awesome, man. We just stayed for 2 weeks. Um, the organization never hired me back, by the way, and when I confronted them why, um, they claimed I was harassing them, and then they started making rumors about why they didn't never hired me back. But basically, what happened was, I went to stay with Alex, and you know, the the first day, man, seeing this guy driving, man, I'm thinking like, oh my God, I'm in Texas, man. We're in. I'm gonna be staying with this guy, man. I'm like, really? Like, I'm gonna be staying with him. Like, it's wild, but I feel like okay, it's only gonna be 2 weeks, because I thought at the time I thought I was gonna be hired back. Um, so once I started staying with Alex, man, and I realized how he lived and everything, I didn't expect this apartment to be anything, anything special. You paid $600 a month for the apartment. I mean, you gonna get what you pay for. So I didn't expect the apartment to be anything, special. Plus, I saw the apartment on the catches, and so you know, I would I basically said, thank you very much. I appreciate this, and I was basically, sleeping on a mattress that he provided. It was a mattress, had a sheet on it, had some covers, and it was next to an outlet to put my laptop, and I was all right with that. So basically what happened, was the first day, um, we heard arguing outside of the house, and everything, and we were just laughing, because like it was just two crazy ass ghetto ass black chicks, you know, ghetto ass jump off chicks, and these and this dude, man. just looked like, was like listening outside the door. He just gave me a look like, time to troll. And he walks out there like, oh shit! I literally take out my phone and shit. But my phone was too much in memory, so I didn't save. It only got like a shot of me going down the freaking stairs. But Alex was basically saying, me and my boyfriend are having very intimate sex, or trying to have very intimate sex upstairs, and you guys are fucking disturbing us. And I'm just laughing and shit, and they're going off on him and everything, and it gets really heated, right? And Alex like literally freaking yells at them, um, yells because they're yelling at them. He yells back for a second, right? I don't know what he yells, but he said, we're just asking for you to be quiet. That's all, man." And then they freaking pull. One of the girl pulls out a bat and just putting it in Alex's face and everything, and he's handling it pretty well. He says, and he's trying to like walk away. And he said, "Well, you guys really need to keep it down. You guys need to keep it down." One of the girls pulls out pepper spray, and pepper sprays the both of us. She doesn't get my eyes. She gets my arm, but he gets Alex right in the eyes. And I literally have to step in front of Alex to keep him from getting hit with a bat. So Alex, recovers from being pepper sprayed, and that was my first day in Houston. I've only been to Austin and Dallas, you know, for political conventions and vacations. But that was my first day in Houston, that was just a hell of a first impression. Like, man, we went on some catches. I helped him out with some catches. He would have, his decoy friend. She was 18, and when she would when she would go meet the predator, I would kind of be in a secluded spot so that nobody would touch her. I had like a black hoodie on or something like that, or I'll be wearing black, and I would kind of be like acting like I'm asleep or something like that, or like because Alex kind of lives in a ghetto, but I would be acting like I'm asleep like that or something like that, and when they go up to the room, I make sure that I tell her to give me a signal or give me like a scream or something like that, so I can take out my pocket knife or pepper spray and I can get the guy, So I make sure I'm in a spot where I can catch him if he tries to run away, or I can like cut him off. So that's how I would help. I wouldn't. I was in a couple of his catches. There was one where we caught a sex offender who did 20 years in prison for fooling around with the 11-year-old. I can actually show that. I actually have that. You're not going to go to heaven. You're not going to go to heaven either. You just try to meet a young kid. Meet a young kid? Yeah. I'm walking that way, going back to the house. I got to catch a bus. I'm just trying to meet up here. Yep, you were. Caught a case. Dude, I was. When you're in prison, you're going to catch big black cops that you wanted. Yeah. I'm a gang member. You're a gang member? Oh, you're a blood? Yes, I'm a gang member. I was in prison 20 years as a gang member. Did they call you blood for the HIV transmitted through your blood or what? Not HIV. Huh? Not HIV. Why are you wearing blue? Because that's what I'm wearing. You're not. You're not supposed to wear blue. Yeah, blood wearing blue. You would get killed if you do that. If you were actually like a Nazi wearing the Star of David, sir. Guy who was in a who we confronted in one of the convenience stores, and a bystander happened to listen in and went off on a predator, and he got arrested. They thought that the guy wound up punching the predator, and they thought that Alex was the one that punched him, and they called the police, and Alex got arrested, but we worked it out, and we got the guy. We was getting the guy investigated. So Alex, as far as Alex being in collaboration with the police, I did have a detective I did have to send some of my videos to a detective to catch the sex offender predator. So and I think I did get an email on one of my older emails about that. I have to see. I think I got an email on that one, but so it was legit. He was legit talking to the detectives and everything. Um, so you know, after 2 weeks, I I couldn't get in contact with my bosses at the political campaign. And then I tried to talk to my dad, and he wouldn't let me back in. Um, so he so he said, you know, so he said, I'm not gonna let you live on the street. You know, and I was prepared to live on the street. I was prepared, like, oh my god, like, I told this guy 2 weeks, and I promised this guy 2 weeks, man, and it's just like I feel like I kind of fucked him over. I feel like I'm mooching off him because I would buy him groceries and everything, and with some of the money I had, left, I would buy him groceries and all that, and you know, I kind of fell when I found out that the people may not hire me. I kind of fell into a deep depression, because I couldn't get in contact with anybody. So I was drinking heavily, so that kind of went to my um to my bank account as well. So that's on me because I didn't use my money properly. But yeah, I was drinking pretty heavily. Because I was in a very depressive state. I think this was kind of a low point because yeah, I'm realizing like, okay, these guys are probably just not going to hire me back. These guys probably just basically just left me out to dry. And yes, and Alex, as time went along, Alex was visibly showing his frustration. Um, but you know, he was being as nice as he possibly could, and I felt bad. Um, I felt bad, and I wound up, you know, getting a connection to Dallas. Getting connected with my cousin in Dallas, and she let me move in with her. So Alex was gonna let me stay in for as long as I needed to until COVID, because the pandemic and everything was giving me the benefit of the doubt. But I didn't want to be a burden to him. But let's go back a little bit because I kind of deviated a little bit out there. So basically, my time with Alex is I know that him and Rami had a bit of a rivalry going on, and it was supposed to be like a boxing event. Alex, was training for that event. He's working out and everything. I asked, do you even know how to box? He said, oh no, I just go aggressively and everything. And I found out that Rami was actually trained in MMA. So I'm like, okay, well, you gonna have to learn how to throw a proper punch. Cause like you flailing like that, it ain't gonna. I'm like, like, dude, he's just gonna be able to pot shot you and keep going. So you got to be able to be patient and pick your shots. So I have a year experience in boxing.
Shots.
Go out, we would go to his to the park or something like that, or like to a spot, and we would spar. And Alex would when Alex first started, he was flailing. He was flailing. He was throwing punches, and I'm like, oh my god, like dude. And I was trying to go easy and try not to just counter him and everything, but I'm like, man, you're leaving yourself open. So I was teaching him basic footwork, teaching him how to turn his hips when he punched and everything. Teaching him all the basic techniques so he doesn't make a fool of himself. Um, and I mean, it turned out well. I mean, he turned out pretty well on most on when I saw the actual boxing event, everything turned out well. But yeah, um, yeah, we did have a lot of fun. We did have a lot of fun. We was basically we basically just drove around at times. I would also help him like follow up on like on a nurse predator that they caught, and the nurse predator agreed to make a follow up video. Um, Hold on for a second. I'm going to the bathroom real quick, okay? Sorry, I'm back. So yeah, we would basically, he was basically following up and saying, what I did was wrong, and his parents came and said, we've talked to him, and we believe that he is working hard to be a, you know, a functional member of society and a better, person. So and the guy does have the guy, had a girlfriend. He got himself a of age, a person, an adult girlfriend. So you know, I felt that was actually kind of heartwarming. It was actually kind of emotional. And at one point, I was starting to jerk some tears that I just literally just went to the car, and I said I can't listen to this anymore. So I was holding the camera, and then once the camera film ran out, I just dipped out and waited in the car, and smoked a CBD cigarette and shit. But um, yeah, Alex, we would go to a park. We would also we would also catch predators in the park and everything. I think we caught somebody in the park a couple of times. Um, as far as his rivalries and everything, I don't really, I don't really like, I don't really like. The only rivalry I really known was Rami, but I known of the Eric Konevsky. I didn't know of the. I remember Eric Konevsky come. I actually have a picture with Eric Konevsky with Konevsky Fitness, but at the time when I met Konevsky, he seemed like a cool guy. I don't really have a problem. I still don't have a problem with him. Um, I watch his content from time to time. Well, I did, but I heard his channel got removed, and I don't know much about that. I've never met Cassie Campbell, but I know he lives. I think there's a chance I may meet him because I know he lives um, around Dallas area. Um, so so I may so maybe I'll bump into him. Maybe I won't bump into him. Dallas is a pretty big place, but hopefully I meet him. I've heard some things about him. I heard some exposed videos about him, and I heard him and Konevsky were getting into it, and him and Alex got into it. So I didn't know about that at the time. Um, at the time of at the time of living with him. So I like wanted to be on more of his catches and everything, but I was in such a depressive state that when he went out for catches that I just I just didn't I just didn't want to go. Um as far as what's been going on about him using actual, kids. I know that, at that time he didn't really know any better, and at the time Alex was just a 19-year-old kid himself. He just started doing this, and I think Tipster did mention something about him being immature and everything, and that I do agree with. At the time he was immature. He was he didn't really get a grasp on what was legal and what was not. But as far as people calling that child endangerment, Texas child endangerment laws are 15 and under, and the people that he used were at least were relatives first of all, and were at least we're at least 2 years younger than them at the time. So we're over 16. probably like around 17 or 18. So these weren't just act. I mean, so these were basically just high schoolers posing as short little high schoolers posing as 14, 13-year olds as middle schoolers. Um, so as far as legal terms, yeah, he's all right because I looked up the laws. He's good in Texas. But as far as moral, I mean, yeah, you could argue that it is immoral. But I mean, he didn't really know better at the time, and I feel like now he's getting a more, he's getting more, more mature and aware of certain things that he can and can't do. Um, as far as the whole EDP thing, I, I mean, I think that it's still a good thing that what he did. He still exposed EDP, and he's still for meeting up with a 13-year-old girl and being a predator. Um, yeah, the court of public opinion, is not going to let him back on YouTube. His source of income is completely shot. All right. As far as getting him in jail, that's gonna be it's gonna be a tough one because yeah, you're right. Because California is entrapped. California has different laws than Texas, and I think Alex made a few miscalculations on that. But I really don't see the good in just comparing him to EDP and saying that he's just as bad as as an actual child predator. All right, just because he made some edgy jokes, just because I mean, if you have to, and people commentators that say, oh, I understand a good edgy joke, but if you have to say but, then you don't understand what it means to be edgy. So shut the fuck up, you fucking normie. So basically, what my take on Alex is, he's not a racist, all right. I mean, you don't just let a true racist wouldn't just let some dude basically some dude that he doesn't really even know. All right, I mean, he doesn't know much about my life. He didn't know much about me at the time. I mean, he does now, but he didn't know much about me at the time. And he just basically let what was basically just a random fan go on his channel and stream. He would give out freaking he would give out his he would give me his channel just to stream, and he would basically just try to help me out when he could. He would say, hey man, at the time he was still a smaller channel, so he wasn't making that much. So he would say, hey, just respond to comments or something like that, or just you know make sure that you stream, just make sure that you stream every week or something like that. And he would let me do that. I mean, a man who truly hates if a man who truly hates black people, would not let a random black dude, basically, would not let no random nigga stay with him. Basically, I mean, stay in his house, in his apartment, you know, eating his food, you know, basically rent free. Aside from me buying him groceries or something like that, man, stuff like that, you know. And he had every chance to kick me. He didn't kick me out. Actually, I left on my own volition. You know, he expressed that he kind of wanted me to find my own place to stay, but he said, I'm not gonna let you be homeless. He said, I'm not gonna let you just be in a shelter. I'm not gonna just leave you to your own devices because you're 800 miles away from home, and these assholes at Young Americans for Liberty didn't hire you back. So I wound up leaving on my own volition because I didn't want to be a burden. And part of that was my fault because I didn't use my money correctly, and I didn't, and I should have upped my efforts to find a job. I was searching for jobs and everything, but I should have upped my efforts to find a job. Um, I wanted to basically, shed light on who he is as a person. He's not a bad person. All right, people calling this guy a terrible person. He's not a terrible person. He basically is just he's basically just a college kid. Immaturity. He has that. He's immature. He's very immature. I'll give you that. He's very immature. And everything. But I think this is just something that he's gonna grow as a person. I think his content's gonna get better and better and better and better. And the guy's come a long way. The guy has just basically come a long way. Um, and I'm impressed. I'm impressed. You know, if I was his father, I'd be proud. Of him. Basically, putting in this work and actually, at least trying to help the community. Um, I understand that he doesn't do that he doesn't do it and handle things in the best way, and that he could come off as a piece of shit, but he's not. He's not a piece of shit. Sorry. I'm at work right now, but so basically what I do now is like I said, I'm a security guard. I'm a trailer security guard. So basically, I live in a trailer and I take my trailer to various construction sites, and you know I patrol. I patrol the site. Every hour, and then I lock up. When everybody leaves. So it's paying decent money. I'm surviving on my own and everything. Texas is a good place. Good job economy and everything. Um, and like I said, I'm talking to a girl in California who used to watch who still watches Alex's stream from time to time. But used to love it when I come on. I didn't even know she was a girl at first until she showed me. And she showed me a picture. She was a beautiful girl. She's 26, so I know what you're thinking. Um, and I've been talking to her, for a while, and I've actually met up with her. My friend and I went back to Wisconsin. My friend and I took a road trip, to Cali to see her and to see Cali. But one of the goals was to see her, and I spent some time with her, and you know, she's a very soft spoken. Her voice is like silk. Very good soft spoken lady. Very cute. And if you're watching this, all right, that was cringe, but yeah, I do. There's more stuff I want. There's more stuff I actually want to say about Alex. Is that him and Eric Konevsky, I thought were cool. But there was stuff. I mean, but the stuff that came out about him and that Konevsky was saying about him, I have really no horse in that race. Um, because as far as I know, they were still friends. But my experience with Eric Konevsky and was was very was just meh. I mean, he was like I said, we talked to each other, we took pictures of each other and everything. We took pictures with with each other and everything. But I was there when he smashed the bottle into that wall, and oh my god, that was the scariest thing I ever heard. Um, yeah. So basically, that's all I wanted to say. I guess I kind of went off. I guess I kind of babbled that time, but I just wanted to shed some light on Alex. I feel that the guy is misunderstood, and I feel that most I feel like that most people that demonize him. They don't really. you really should try to figure out who he is as a person. All right, so you really should try to, really think, what his friends are doing and how his friends are, um, you know, stuff like that. Um, Sorry, I'm a bit tired. Like I said, I just got off patrolling, but I just got off of work because I had to patrol, like, the site, and I had to do a bunch of stuff. But that's all I wanted to say on Alex. So basically, I'm not gonna tell you to subscribe. I mean, this channel is shit. This channel is absolute shit. So you can like, you can comment. You know, I don't recommend you subscribe. Um, as far as what Alex will do in the future, I wish him. I wish him. I wish him the best of luck. Um, and I appreciate him helping a brother out. I mean, he encouraged me to keep going. He encouraged me. He would give me encouragement to keep going. He would give me encouragement to give myself a chance. To not be so down on myself at times. Give me a chance. He would give me encouragement to improve myself. And most racists won't do that. So those of you calling them racist, or those of you getting mad because at the time, he kind of made mistakes, in the past. I mean, we all do. I mean, I'm sure, at the time he just wasn't thinking. And I think in the future, he'll put more thought into what he does. So, um, hope you all have a nice day. God bless. Good night.